It's playoff time. The Seahawks and Broncos are the 1 seeds. If I would have told you that in August, you probably would have laughed at me. We're down to one Harbaugh being a coach in the NFL right now. Let's see how long that lasts. Giants, wake up. Here's your chance. Get a real coach. And I know John's Dolphins are going to be involved in this conversation. John, come on in.
Yeah, so the reports that I had heard are that Miami was the 7th team to call about Harbaugh after he got fired, and only 6 teams that call, the 7 teams call and 6 don't have a head coach, and Miami has a head coach, and they called about Harbaugh from the reports I had heard. So
you guys don't have a GM, so usually a new GM means a new coach.
yeah,
It'll be interesting to see, but we'll talk about that and a whole bunch more. We got the college football playoffs, the semis coming up. First week, the NFL playoffs. Dave's Seahawks are off. Dave's out in St. Louis. Did an amazing job today, giving out basket to the Children's Hospital with some great former players. Proud of the work he does. That's why he's not here right now. But we're not people to disappoint. What we did is we called on a friend of ours, Blake Patterson. He's one of the creators of WonderFan. You may not have heard of WonderFan just yet, especially us up north. It's really big right now down south with the college campuses and everything. They've done some amazing work. They teamed up with Cam Newton and one of his events. They're involved in the golf game as well because, golf fans are some of the least respected as far as sports fans, and they're doing some amazing things. We'll bring Blake in now and we'll talk to him about what WonderFan's doing. It's an exciting product. I'm actually, when I first heard about it, I was like, wow, that's a great idea.
Well, JB, I very much appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 products. We've got one that is, as you mentioned, it's golf related. It's called Wonder Par. And then we have another one that, you kind of brought us on the show for in regards to WonderFan. And really, the reason why we created both of these products was because sports fans in general and golfers, it's a game that we love, or games that we love, but there's a lot of heartache involved and there's a lot of money that's involved. And so what we wanted to really do was create a way that was advantageous to everybody, create this flywheel effect. So I've been fortunate enough to have 2 companies that I had exits from, and really taking that thesis and applying it into the sports world. So what we first did with Wonder Par, we launched it overseas, and it was the first golf app in the world that you got paid to play golf. Like, of course, that sounds too good to be true, right? And so what does that mean? So what you're doing is you're earning our coin. Our coin is called Wonder, WUNDER. It's a crypto token, but it does not have any liquidation to it. So it's like an arcade ticket. So you go onto the course, we map the course out, it knows you're there, and you start earning for just being on the course. Simple as that. Put your phone in your car, put it in your pocket, put it in your bag, you name it, you start earning. But when we started doing that, we started putting it on social media, and we couldn't be spammy about it or salesy about it because obviously the algorithm doesn't like that. So we created what was called the Wonder League, so people could see in real time, kind of like in a DraftKings mentality, what other people were earning. And so we started doing raffles with it. So it created competition, and people just started downloading the app like crazy. And before you knew it, Callaway came to us and they said, we want to be your official sponsor. And then FootJoy came on, Titleist came on, and we've really kind of grown overseas quite a bit. Now, that being said, I said, ding, 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 we've got something here. And me being in Birmingham, Alabama, I'm right down the road from where Nick Saban was for 15, 16 years. And listening to him basically every Monday for 12 to 15 weeks out of the year, he was always trying to figure out an angle to get his team amped up and get the players amped up, get the fans amped up, because most of the time they're number 1, 2, or 3 in the polls. And outside of LSU, Tennessee, Auburn, most of the games are kicking everybody's tail by half. And the issue at hand that he constantly was saying was, I'm not having an issue of getting people into Bryant-Denny, which holds, a little over 101,000. I'm having an issue of keeping them in Bryant-Denny. And we as sports fans, as you just were talking about in regards to this weekend with the games, I mean, we've got 6 games this weekend. You've got 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and 1 on Monday night. ESPN that came up with the Monday Night Football for the playoffs, just genius. Absolutely love it. What is the reason to get off the couch? Because the product is so good. And so what we wanted to do is create really to start out a 4-prong approach for fans all over the globe to say, we're going to give you the ability to earn by doing things that you already do. So 1 is going to the game, which is called our attend to earn. 2nd is our pick'ems, where like literally you're picking the game, not based off the line, but we can do a money line with our sports API. So you're saying, hey, Rams versus Panthers, plus, minus, whatever it might be, and you're earning wonder. The beauty of it is if you lose, you're not actually losing money. You're just winning wonder. 3rd, which is really what kind of got us national attention, was our watch to earn with our patent pending technology, where literally you take a picture of the TV. Our patent pending camera reads the score bug. So for instance, like Duke Louisville's playing right now on ESPN, it reads, hey, it's at the Yum Center, it's Duke Louisville, this is the acronyms, these are the colors of the team, and boom, you get rewarded just for watching the game right then and there.
Wow.
And then last is our content, where you are looking at content or news up to the date of things that are going on. So like you were talking about a minute ago with Harbaugh getting let go after 18 seasons, 12th winningest coach of all time, it's spitting out that information. You're getting the ability to earn by just watching that video. And so with that being said, what do you do with those earnings? Well, right there in the app, we have brands that are household names all across the globe, whether it be Uber or DoorDash or Amazon or The Game or Chipotle. And you're able to take those coins and go directly into the app, into the shop, and buy products from them.
Wow. That's amazing. So what made you guys start overseas, and how long did it take before you were able to bring it to the States with what you're doing now?
Yeah, so what happened was I got introduced, through this journey I've been on for the past, 12 to 15 years. I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of really great people. And I got introduced to the gentleman who is the founder of CBS Sportsline. So I went out to Vegas and I met him, and he was like, let's create a video that is the GOATs. So let's take MJ versus Brady, and let's have people vote on it. And so we put it out there on one of our other tech platforms, and it did really well. And we found out very quickly, instead of just throwing spaghetti against a wall and seeing what sticks, we found out that sports was our niche. And so that being said, we have a worldwide team. So we've got people in South Africa, up in Vancouver, New York, Birmingham, Austin, Texas, all the way out to LA. So we're 10 hours apart. And we realized that it was probably easier to break through overseas, just because there's so much competition over here. And so it's kind of been our testing ground, and it's worked out very well. So we usually launch something over there, figure out how it works, and then try to evolve it and bring it over here.
Now, how many users right now do you have on the platform?
We've got about 250,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
Organic.
Now, is that mostly college sports, pro sports, anything in particular?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're in the South. College football is king here. I mean, as you've heard, it's a religion. It is 365 days a year. As soon as I usually talk to somebody and they find out I'm from here, the first question is Auburn or Alabama. It is a way of life here, and you really don't know what that's like until you're here, because there's not a pro sports team here, right? It is pro sports, but at the end of the day, football is king, but the NFL that's the daddy. College football is number 2, as much as we like to think it's number 1. And what we've seen, throughout this calendar year, one of the ways that we broke into the market actually was college students. And so we've been very successful with college sports just in general. What we did is we found out, or we got notified, there was some students that out at Alton Stadium during an Oregon game earlier, and they had the app. And of course, it was the too good to be true. It's like, hey, I'm at Alton Stadium, I'm earning these coins. Like, what's the catch? And we got in touch with a guy, and I found out there was a Chipotle in the student union. And so what I did is we mapped out the entire campus, and we blasted out to there in Eugene. We said, if anybody goes to class Monday through Friday, you're going to earn for just going to class. And we put Chipotle in the shop, and it just started selling out like that. And before you knew it, we had Penn State come to us, and then we had Ohio State come to us. And they're like, bring it here, bring it here, bring it here. But that being said, we didn't want to get too far away from, like, not beating a dead horse, but what our thesis is. But we also understood, hey, how do we break into the market? And with that being said, that was doing really well. But what really got the national attention was March Madness. When we did our Watch to Earn this past March, we did a case study where we did with CBS, TBS, and TNT and True TV, which is obviously the 4 channels that those games come on. And everybody knows True TV because of the NCAA tournament, unless you like crime shows. We said CBS, TBS, and TNT, if you watch the games on those channels or you just take a picture, you're going to earn 50 Wonder. Boom, like that. But if you go over to True TV, where there's plenty of good games on as well, and you take a picture, you're going to earn 4x. You're going to get 200 Wonder just for taking that picture. And the difference over the entire first weekend was 483%.
Wow.
And we knew right then and there that it doesn't matter if it's a team, if it's a league, if it's a channel, we have the ability to drive traffic to a game, to a league, to a team, because now you've got 350 million people in America that most of them are a bunch of goldfish with ADD, and they're trying to figure out, what is my ROI and how can I get something as quick as possible? And
that's awesome.
In our world, from the time we get up in the morning to the time we go to bed, you've got that phone in your hand. You've got something coming at you, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's email, whether it's missed calls, whether it's text messages. You've got to have something that not only can you explain it to a 4th grader, but a 4th grader knows how to use it and they can explain it to somebody.
So on a day like today, just for example, how many Wonder can I earn waking up early in the morning, going to the end of the night?
Yeah, we change it throughout the week, based off of games that are on, because obviously there's the NBA slate, there's the NFL slate, obviously that doesn't start again until Saturday. So on average, we say you can probably earn anywhere from 200 to 500. But we change that out because one of the things that literally is going into place on Thursday, and we're going to roll it out here probably about 7 days after that. This week, we've got tickets that we'll be raffling off for 2 of the games this weekend. But we're putting a poll out to our users, to our social crowd, saying, hey, what 2 games would you want this to be? And we take that from our fans, we listen to them, and then we get those tickets. But we've got a partner that we are working with. So here in about a week, we will have the ability, and you will have the ability to go on the app where we'll have tickets worldwide for sporting events and then soon to be musical events, to where, let's just say, I was at the Alabama-Kentucky game this past weekend. Figuratively speaking, if that ticket was $100 and you had X amount of Wonder, so figuratively speaking, say you had 15 Wonder, you'd have more than that. But just to make it easy, now you could get that ticket for $85 because you've got Wonder that's applying towards your ticket cost.
So
like
I'm gonna watch the game anyway. Now while I'm watching the game, I can earn these points, Wonder points, and I can save money or get gift cards. What's better than that? I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Well, and that's why we keep getting told, what's the catch? It sounds too good to be true, but kind of going back to what I was saying earlier in the thesis is when you create this flywheel effect, the thing that has been so advantageous for us is because when you're a brand, whether you are a car dealership, you're a attorney's office, or you're a big box store, you are having to spend on average about $25 to $40 to acquire one customer. Whether it's through billboards, whether it's through podcasts, whether it's through TV commercials, you name it. And guess what? Most companies don't have that money. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and most companies, as you saw with COVID, same kind of thing. What we're able to do is we're saying, okay, we're going to be able to reduce your CAC immensely, your customer acquisition cost. We're giving people, as we stated earlier, the ability to consume what they're already doing. You give us these vouchers, you put them in the shop, and now they're able to come in, and this is a door opener to your products. Because most people, if it's Chipotle or if it's DoorDash or it's Uber, if they get a $10 to $15 voucher, they're not just going to spend $10, $15 because psychologically they're like, well, I can go get something that's $40 or $50 because I have 10, 15 free dollars. But where we're going and what we're seeing, it's not just about getting that quick fix. We want to create more of experiences for people. So that's why we're doing the tickets. And it opens up the addressable market immensely because whether you're 18 or you're 75, people go to games all over the place. And, those fees as well, they crush people. And a lot of times it makes them decide, do I really want this ticket or not? Do I get something at an upper level or do I even buy it? But at the same time, we want to create more and more experiences that people have that they can carry on with. And I feel like we're just, scratching the surface, honestly.
It's pretty amazing. You guys teamed up with the Cam Newton Classic in basketball, the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl. How do you go about finding partners?
We've been very fortunate. One, we've gotten a lot of attention lately. When it comes to the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl, they saw what happened with what took place with March Madness. Notre Dame gave the middle finger to the bowl system, and it trickled all the way down to the Birmingham Bowl, where you had Mississippi State literally on the second is a 5-7 team playing in a bowl. They're doing everything they can, especially in those kind of 2 weeks where people really just don't work, right? You've got Christmas break, and then you've got the week that really nobody works in between hand. How do I get as many eyeballs on my product as possible? Because when you look at the NFL or Major League Baseball or the NBA or NHL or MLS, at the end of the day, it all comes down to the contracts, and those contracts are based off of how many eyeballs are on my product. Because then it trickulates out and down. What can I charge somebody to come in and do a commercial? And, A, B, C, Y, D, X. So all that being said, we said, not only is it that, but it's also people in the stands because these teams, one of the things that we've met with a lot of Power 5 schools, and their hair is on fire with NIL. There's a lot of these schools that are in the P4 conferences that you would think are doing pretty well that are not. Obviously money is broken up amongst the conferences, but at the end of the day, they make a lot of money from concessions. And whether it's now they're selling beer in the stadium or it's hot dogs, how do we keep people in the stands? So coming back full circle to your question, the Birmingham Bowl is like, all right, how do we get people in the stands? But if they can't get to the game and they're in Birmingham or they're in Tacoma, Washington, how do we get them to view the game? So what we did around Birmingham for the people that were here, because most of those fans are coming into town for, probably 48 to 72 hours, we set up essentially like Pokemon Go around the city of Birmingham. So there were earning zones. So you had restaurants, you had museums, you had a multitude of things where, but essentially when you downloaded the app, you saw right then and there, because geographically and mileage, it shows you what is close to you, and you can get 1x, 2x, 5x, 8x, 10x. And so now you're deciding, once again, ROI, where am I going to go in this city that I haven't been in to earn?
That's just, what a great concept.
It's a great idea.
And just a way to bring people together. I could see me and John, we've gone to the last few Super Bowls, and there's so many different events. I could just see something like that. If you go to this event, you get so many points. If you go to this spot, you get something. And, it would make you look at things differently. You may not have wanted to go there, or it may not have been something that caught your interest, but now because you're getting points and you're going, it's wow, that's a great idea.
Well, very much appreciate it. We've got an incredible team. I always like to think I'm the dumbest person on the team as the founder or the co-founder and the CEO. I always like to think of myself as the GM. And in the past, we've been fortunate with that of finding the best people, in and around the world that believes in what we're doing. And we've been able to do that. The team is continuing to still grow. We will be announcing something here in the very near future, which, you were talking about the Dolphins a few minutes ago. I was down in Palm Beach a few weeks ago, and I was sitting with the guy that just came on our team, which we'll be announcing here soon. And he waves his hand, and the other guy waves his hand. I was like, that guy looks familiar. And I was like, that's Stephen Ross. That's the owner of the Dolphins. I think they're seeing the light too, because these tycoons in the media industry say, and you're seeing the real time with Hollywood right now. It's like, how do you get people to view a product? Because most people are inclined now to stay at home and do that because you've got everything at your fingertips. But at the same time, for somebody who's a father of a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, my wife calls me at 9 o'clock this morning because today's the first day back at school. You're trying to do everything you can to get out of the house. And if you can mesh all that into a product that, is beneficial to the city, to the patrons of the city, to the teams of the city, you've created that win-win effect where now people are inclined to want to use it.
Yeah, no, I definitely love it. I mean, I know I want to download the app and check it out. It sounds like it'd be a fun way to do what I already do and earn some points, get some gift cards, maybe some discounts on tickets. And I know we're going to see more of you and hear more about this as time goes on.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been exciting. And, if there's something you like about it or something you dislike about it, I promise you it's not going to hurt my feelings. We want to know. And that's the only way that we can get better, right?
Yeah. Only way to get better is to hear the good and the bad. And, that's a great way to look at it. I appreciate someone saying that.
Well, and, one of the things that we're building right now is kind of, I kind of think of it as like the Feinbaum effect is kind of the message boards to earn, where, we pick out almost kind of like a first take model with Stephen A. and them. We give you X amount of topics per day. You go in, you just start figuring out who you want to, either say, yeah, I agree with that, or no, you're absolutely wrong. But at the end of the day, you're going to get rewarded for going in there and giving your 2 cents.
I like it. Build engagement.
You got it. Make it sticky, gamify it.
That's a great way to do it. And where can people download the app?
Yeah, very simple. Either one, you can just go to the App Store and just type in WonderFan, WUNDERFAN, and it should pop right up. Nice.
And once again, there's no charges to get started. You just go right in.
Nope. And everything is free. And we want to try and keep it that way as long as we possibly can. And as we continue to grow, I think that is something that we'll always do. And, our end of the, we want to create such a great user experience. And I think one of the things that is exciting about it is you don't have to put a bunch of information in either. You just start using it. You right when you get on that app, right when you get in there, you got the shop. So you can see what is available right then and there.
That's awesome. Anytime, it's almost like getting paid for what you're going to do anyway. You're going to watch the games, you're going to comment somewhere on X or wherever. Why not get paid to do it and get gift cards or discounts? It sounds like a no-brainer, John. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it sounds amazing. I'm getting ready to download it as soon as we're done the show.
Exactly.
We're about to put a referral program together as well. So,
John, you're going to have to wait till I refer you, John.
All right, I'm going to wait for that then. I'm going to wait for the referral. That'll be more.
You went live 5 minutes ago. There you go.
There we go, John. You're good. I referred you.
There you go.
Well, Blake, it was definitely a pleasure having you, man. You're always welcome to come on. We definitely want to hear what's going on with WonderFan as you grow. Sounds like a phenomenal product.
Well, guys, much appreciated. Enjoy the playoffs, and look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Sounds great. Have a great night, Blake.
Thank you, Blake.
Thanks, guys. You too. Bye-bye.
We'll be right back after this.
Sideline Sports live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's not a great league, the American League. The National League is far and away better.
I know we have those 4 games in
All right, John, I'm going to stop you there. The Orioles haven't gotten to the World Series.
No, I'm just saying, if you're a fan of any team, Cam Newton's always.
Oh my gosh, you just say that name and I know something stupid's coming there. 8,000 points a game. What is Dragon Ball Z's in the WNBA now?
It's in a dog pile.
Stuff happens in the bottom of that pile. You don't even want to know about. You get spit on, you get poked, you get poked in the eye and the ear.
Yeah.
You get, yes.
He's not a leader. He's a child. Go play on your burner account and go have fun. Well, guys, I'm sorry. During that commercial, I was just downloading WonderFan. I'm back now. Wow. John, I love that concept. Getting points for doing what I'm going to do anyway.
It's terrific. I have some ideas that I can pitch to him that could make it even better, but I'm not going to tell it because once he takes these ideas, because I'm, obviously I'm brilliant, it's going to add to WonderFan, and WonderFan's already a great product. So, I'm going to tell him this in private, and then he's going to, probably add it to WonderFin, and it's going to explode even more whenever my ideas, come to fruition. So we will see. But make sure
speaking of ideas, we're 25 minutes in. We haven't done quick hits. And
where's Jay at?
I know the people out there are yearning for the quick hits.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah, there he is, Jay. The producer man, Jay Nelson. Jay, welcome to the show.
Hey, first show of the new year for Sideline Sports, and it's on to bigger and better things. For those of you all who do not know, we will be at the Super Bowl shindig this year, so check out Sideline Sports. More material all day, all week, all the time.
6th straight year.
It's amazing to think way back. Listen, I remember when I first met John. I'm going to bore all of our audience with a quick story. I first met him. He was a Baltimore Oreo fan.
Still am.
The Oreos actually are the first team I ever covered in Major League Baseball. Got to give a lot of credit to Matt Blood and their organization giving me an opportunity to go down and cover spring training. And I got to know John, and we had an idea. And out of this idea, we're going on 6 Super Bowls and plenty of other great events we covered. A lot of hard work by a lot of people on the team. Jay, James, Dave.
Forgetting people's names.
Listen, we're so big now. 6 Super Bowls, more than a head. But let's get to quick hits. All right, quick hits. Number 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much respect has Jake Paul lost as a boxer following the bout with Anthony Joshua? I'm going to start. So, he's not a boxer. We saw that. As a person for standing and taking a beating, which he should have got against Tyson, I give him respect for doing that and going up against a real boxer. I respect, but he wasn't a boxer, so I'm going to say 1 for this because I don't respect anything as far as boxing goes. As far as the man getting paid, 10. Anytime you can go out there and make that money, if people are willing to pay for it, Netflix, more power to you. I know I watched because I wanted to see him get beat since Tyson. So, but no respect. John?
I can't give him respect for getting in the ring with him because he didn't stand toe-to-toe with him and fight him. He crawled, he dove at him. You know what I mean? He had all these goofy tactics that are not boxing. And he did that the whole fight until he got knocked out. You know what I mean? So, he was just dancing around, diving. He was doing all this dumb stuff. I don't respect that. That's not boxing. You don't see real boxers do that nonsense. He was just a circus clown that finally got punched in the big red nose and his little shoes deflated after that. And he can't inflate them anymore because they're broken permanently.
Jay?
So I'm not going to go into the whole contract controversy thing because that's a whole nother conversation. But I do agree with John, though. People wanted to say that Floyd Mayweather style was running for so many years, but at least, you could say the man had defense because he would at least hit him and then move around, No, Jake Paul was just flat out running. He was just flat out running. And I was sitting there watching the fight, and I was like, no, this guy legitimately is running, and then Anthony would just catch him. That's the only difference is Anthony would just catch him. You know what I mean? So, I'd give him a little bit more respect if he actually tried to fight that man, but he didn't really.
No.
At least it didn't seem like it. So,
number 2.
Let's see.
Has winning the AFC North saved Mike Tomlin's job? John, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I saw a meme before the show. It was the field goal, and in the middle of the field goal post, it said Mike Tomlin fired, and on the outside, on the right and on the left, said
Harbaugh fired.
Yes, that was great.
It said literally 2 jobs came down to 1 kick. It's not wrong. He did save his job, and they're going to be 1 and done to the Texans. And it's the Mike Tomlin standard: 9-10 wins, 1 and done, and rinse, wash, rinse, repeat. So, Yeah, of course it saved his job.
Jay?
I mean, yeah, big deal though. The standard's 9-10 wins. It's no longer championships.
Jay?
Absolutely, it saved his job. It did. He had to make the If he made it as a wild card, it still would have done it. But because of how the AFC shaped up, and the North winner, only the North winner was going to go to the postseason. Oh yeah, his job. But I mean, it was the Employment Line Bowl last Sunday night. It was what it was. The loser was going to be out of there, but they got it. They got it done. Roger showed he had one more division title, one more game-winning drive left in him, and didn't really play bad all night long, in my opinion. But as compared to Lamar, I'm not gonna lie, Lamar looked horrible until the fourth quarter, and even then, that was Zay Flowers. So, that's called. But did it save his job? Hell yeah, it did. Tomlin will be there for at least one more season in Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna agree with our viewers. Tasha definitely agreed that it saved his job. I'm with it. Listen, but then again, the man hasn't had a losing year. You could look at my Giants right now. I would kill for a bunch of 9 to 10 win years in a row. Give me hope. I haven't had hope since Eli. I don't know, but I like Tomlin. I think he's a great coach. I think if he had a GM, he would be scary because I don't think they've constructed a good team in a while. I like to see him, not taking anything away from Andy Reid. I would like to see him with Kansas City 3 years ago to see how that team was kind of compared, because I think he would have done really well with them. All right, last but not least, of the quickest quick hits ever of all time. Something you did during your teens that you could take back, John?
Oh, if I could take back watching White Man Can't Jump, I would take that back. It is one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen, and it doesn't belong in the basketball category. When you talk about great basketball movies and the best basketball movies of all time, it doesn't belong in that conversation. You cannot put it in that.
That was a great movie, John.
It is an overrated piece of garbage. The plot is all over the place. It's about them.
Jimmy.
It's about them trying to make money, and then all of a sudden they get into this goofy little side track with the woman, and she leaves him, and then the plot just goes like from them just trying to make some cash to like
I don't get the Jeopardy plot in that at all. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like the plot just like goes from like making money to like completely off the rails, like halfway through the movie, and it confused me because I'm like, well, what is the plot? Like by the time I finish, I'm like, what's the premise of this movie? It's like two different premises.
He's a flawed former athlete.
No, I get that, but like with his wife or whatever leaving, and then
he lost the love of his life.
It got weird
because he had problems.
And they kept going back and forth, and it was just like they jumped way too much.
You can't hear Jimmy. That's really what this is coming down to.
I wish I could take back watching that, and I wish I could take back watching Spaceballs, because both of those movies are horrible.
See, I don't remember Spaceballs.
Horrible movie.
You don't? Are you a Mel Brooks fan though?
No, I like Mel Brooks, but that movie, like I watched it and I was like, okay, expecting it to be funny, and I didn't laugh one time.
So in high school, all the nerds that were in high school used to talk about History of the World Part 2. Now, I had not seen it, and then I saw it later on in life. Funny movie, hysterical, but like the way they talked about it, I was baffled. But it was a good movie. All right, Jay, what would you take back?
So when my freshman year of high school, I acted in William Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew play, and it was cool because like I had the Shakespearean like outfits from back then, so I kind of looked like this Black Robin Hood, right, with like Timberlands on. It was funny looking. Anyway, so like the tail part of my, because it was the UIL competition in Houston with like plays and everything, and we had like these fold out like backdrops, right? So we did 3 shows that day, and 2 of those shows, there's a scene where I dart off stage, right? And so the back part of my costume, like the tail part of it, it caught onto one of the backdrops, and then it comes tumbling down. Boom! Like everyone's rolling. The first time it happened, I was embarrassed, but it was like, oh no, it was funny. It's funny. Then it happened a second time. The first and the third show happened the second time, and I was embarrassed. I was like, "Oh man, my drama teacher's gonna kill me." She's sitting there laughing. I wish I would have just rolled along with the crowd. I wish I would have just rolled along with it and said, "Hey,
that's hard to do, though.
It's entertainment." You know what I mean? But that's
a tough thing, though. Living it at the moment, I'm sure would have been tough to be like, "Oh, that's pretty funny," when you're the one that did it. So I get it.
Yeah,
but it is pretty funny. I mean, thinking about it now. All right, so I'm trying to think. I was not.
Yeah, what are you taking back? I mean, that was like 80 years ago, so I know it's a while ago.
I wasn't really bad, so I'm trying to.
Oh,
think.
BS! You're full of BS. You are such a liar. You're such a politician.
Listen,
thank you, John. Yeah,
I think the thing I would love to take back is that I wasn't so lazy. I didn't apply myself. I was extremely intelligent. I still am. But I did no work from like 5th grade on. I stopped doing homework. And I just explained to you about the nerds that were talking about history of the world. So what I used to do in high school, I used to get to school early and I'd copy homework. I did that from 5th grade. So, I think it definitely cost me a little bit.
Wait, you copied other people's homework?
I stopped doing homework in 5th grade.
But you said you were really intelligent.
I was. I was quite intelligent, John.
Like in 4th grade you were?
All my life. I haven't studied. I graduated college, magna cum laude, John. 3.8, 3.9. Graduate school, 3.9.
You didn't do
no
homework
studying.
then? You didn't do homework.
You're a politician.
Listen. All I'm going to tell you.
You're a liar.
The weekend.
You're a liar. Before, look at that face. You're a liar.
Listen to this story. Weekend before my high school graduation, right? I knew I didn't do my paper for my English class, and had to pass, 8 semesters English. My 8th semester. I'm graduating next week. My mom worked for the Board of Education, so I said, "Mom, do me a favor. Make sure I'm going to graduate." So she calls the school. The guidance counselor goes, "Well, he didn't hand in his English paper. If he doesn't hand in it, he can't graduate." This was Friday. I had to have, actually it was like Thursday. I had to hand it in by Friday in order to graduate. I did like a 15-page paper overnight. No choice. Just lazy. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to talk some NFL, some college football, and me and Jay getting over the flu.
Jay, before you take that break, make sure you play the Panthers clip because it's relevant for this weekend. Because I called
Panthers.
Yeah, that Panthers clip.
Talk about Panthers?
Yeah, make sure you play that clip.
Okay. I think I see it right here. You're talking about this. You're talking about this one.
Sideline Sports live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Caitlin Clark is Larry Bird, I would say, and Paige Beckers is Magic Johnson.
It's kind of like an oxymoron,
Yeah, moron is right.
Maybe when they listen to people like you, that's how they continue being the Browns.
They did have that type of talent to the pro level, but the scouts failed the team.
I disagree. The Panthers, I'm not saying they're making the playoffs, but they're going to be really hard to beat this year. Bryce Young,
so they're not winning the division. Hooked up with some chick, and then he told her he was a linebacker.
All right, we're back.
I told you about the Panthers. I said they would be really tough to beat. I said it.
Wow.
I don't know if they're winning the division.
This may be the first time in NFL history where 2 teams in a division decided the division winner that was neither team that was playing. That's all I'm going to say. That shows you how bad that division is. But let's start out with college football. We'll get to the NFL. We're going to save the best for last. So we got the Final Four. We got Miami going against Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. Oregon against Indiana in the Peach Bowl. Who's going to be playing in the national championship, John?
It's going to be Miami and Oregon. I think Indiana's overrated, and Ole Miss doesn't have Kiffin. And I think it's just going to be too much. Miami's playing really well. And after what they did to Ohio State, I can no longer deny that they're legit. Like, I thought Ohio State was going to take it to them, and they didn't do anything close. And I think Indiana, their little Cinderella story their Hoosier story's done, and the big boys in Oregon are gonna mop the floor with them.
Jay?
Well, I can honestly say that this is, in my opinion, wide open now because the both contestants in the Fiesta Bowl took out who I thought were the two best teams in the playoffs, in Ohio State and Georgia. But what John just said, that Miami defense is ferocious. When I watched them against Ohio State, I'm looking at them and I'm like, they look like the junior Texans out there. They're flying all over the place. They're hitting, not just tackling. They're hitting. They're coming with bad intentions. You know what I mean? And they have a stout running game. They got a fierce two-back system. One of them, hold on a second. His name is Fletcher Jr. Yeah. Who also had a running touchdown against Texas A&M. People talked about, and shout out to you, Jacob, because I know you was the biggest Carson Beck critic this side of Miami, Florida. But Carson Beck does not have to do a lot. He had 136 passing yards, last game? He really doesn't have to do too much at all. That defense does enough to win you ball games, and so does that running game. Carson doesn't have to sling it 30 times like he did at Georgia. He doesn't have to sling it 30 times like he did earlier this season. It's almost like Mario Cristobal just kind of switched things up for the playoffs. We know Carson to be a gunslinger, to put that thing down the field, and him throwing the ball is either going to win you the game or lose you the game. Well, he hasn't been put in that position so far in the postseason, and it looks like he may not neither. It's going to be a tough.
You know what's funny? Funny? A month to the day from when they play their college football game, they play in college basketball. Oregon and Indiana play February 9th, and they play January 9th in college football, and they play college basketball in February.
Yeah, they're in the same conference.
I just thought that was funny. They play like an exact month apart. Those same two teams.
It's almost kind of like, John, remembering in 2007, you had Florida and Ohio State in the football national championship. Yep. And then 2 months later, they were in the basketball national championship. So,
and we won both.
Florida owned them both that year. But Ole Miss, that was one of the better Sugar Bowls I'd ever seen in my life. The Ole Miss, Georgia. As far as Oregon, I think that one's going to be hard. I'm actually going to take the Canes in this one. I think they have the better defense. I'm always going to side with the better defense in this one. It'll be close, but I'm going to take the Canes in that one. Let's see, Big Ten rematch, Oregon, Indiana. I can't go against Indiana. And I know people are going to say it's Kalen DeBoer's Crimson Tide versus Saban's Crimson Tide, but it's still the vaunted Crimson Tide. Now, this is a team that a lot of people thought shouldn't even be there in the first place, all of America was happy to see them. They could have lost by 3 and America would have been celebrating. They lost by 35 and America was celebrating, okay? Oregon has a stout team. Dante Moore should be coming out next year. He was rumored to you know what? This pretty much is the you can call the Peach Bowl the Raider Bowl, because the Raiders are going to get one of these two quarterbacks. So in the Raider Bowl, I'm going to take Indiana by a touchdown. JB.
So I mean, the first game, Miami against Ole Miss. My friend Brian, same last name, will be traveling to Arizona. He called it the JB schedule. He's waking up, flying out at 7:30 in the morning, gonna land, go to the game, because his nephew went to Miami, so they were able to get alumni tickets. After the game, he's flying back on the red eye, and will be back in D.C. by, I believe, 8 a.m. the next morning. So within about 24 hours, he will go see the national championship semifinal and be back home. And he calls it the JB schedule, which I love, because everyone that knows me knows I love to travel overnight. It's always better. But so I got to root for Miami. Ole Miss has shocked me that they are where they are at this point with everything that happened with Kiffin. Miami, what I love about the Miami story is everyone was complaining when they made the playoffs and, Notre Dame was better, even though they beat Notre Dame, which I don't get that argument. But, as I said from the beginning, as a guy who likes Notre Dame, I think BYU and Texas were the stories of who didn't make the playoffs. But, the fact that Miami was there just overcame the same thing with Ole Miss. But I got to go for Miami in this game. Now, Oregon against Indiana, this is a tough one. I mean, Mendoza, they're undefeated. Signetti is unbelievable. That dude just keeps winning. I got to hope Indiana wins. I want to see Indiana finish the deal and win the national championship, because they're the Hoosiers, and the Hoosiers don't play football. So if the Hoosiers win the national championship of football, this is chaos. And who wouldn't love that? Yeah. But I can see Oregon win it too. The last time they played, Oregon's a good team. They got that Nike money there, but Indiana's going to stay undefeated. We're going to be talking about Miami against Indiana, and, Indiana's winning it all.
But I did also want to mention, and John, we talked about this as well. I said, and here we are, we're deep into the postseason now. I said, wouldn't it be something if Ole Miss made a deep playoff run just to stick it to Lane Kiffin? And look where we're at right now, right? The only thing that doesn't sit right with me is if there's a lucky catch of a star and Ole Miss wins the national championship, Lane Kiffin gets a national championship ring. That doesn't sit right.
That shouldn't happen.
They're not winning the national championship.
Yeah, you say that now. You say that now.
They're not even going to get past Miami.
Yeah, we didn't think they would get this far.
Yeah,
listen.
But I will say this also, and I'll turn it back over to y'all. There needs to be a call to how do I put this? To not refurbish, to rearrange or redo. You got to revolutionize these contracts a little bit here, okay?
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin got $500,000 for Ole Miss winning last night, the other night, and he had nothing to do with it. He wanted to.
Yeah,
but that shouldn't happen. That should not be possible.
No, it should not be happening at all. That does not sit right with me.
But he didn't get fired. He didn't get fired. He quit his job.
Yeah, but ultimately, when you have a contract, two parties agree to it. So I got to blame the school just as much as them.
No, but if you quit your job, you don't get to keep the amenities.
I got to blame the school just as much as.
If I quit my job, they're not going to be like, you know what, John?
You
still get access to the building.
John, you should have negotiated a better contract.
No.
You should have negotiated a better contract. But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk a little NFL, and then we're going to see you next week.
All right.
Sideline Sports live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's not a great league, the American League. The National League is far and away better.
I know we have those 4 games in
our
John,
I'm going to stop you there. The Orioles haven't gotten to the World Series.
No, I'm just saying, if you're a fan of any team, Cam Newton's always.
Oh my gosh, you just say that name and I know something stupid's coming there.
8,000 points a game. What is Dragon Ball Z's in the WNBA now?
It's in a dog pile.
Stuff happens in the bottom of that pile. You don't even want to know about. You get spit on, you get poked, you get poked in the eye and the ear.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not a leader. He's a child. Go play on your burner account and go have fun.
JB, you're muted.
We can't hear you.
I know.
There we go.
I know. It's kind of like the Giants. Can't hear them. Anyway, let's talk a little about the NFL playoffs. So in the NFC, we have Dave's Hawk Talk 12 Seahawks with the number 1 seed with Sam Darnold. Does he actually win a playoff game this year? We got to wait an extra week to find out because they took care of business beating San Francisco. The Bears-Packers, the 2-7 game on Amazon Prime on Saturday night. Let's start with that since I live in Chicago. And let me start by saying F Amazon Prime. Can we put games on
actual cable TV on
broadcast channels? Can we have that happen?
Can we treat Saturday night? Can we treat playoff games like playoff games, JB, instead of monopolizing them?
Oh my! This so pisses me off. You know how many TV packages you need to watch the NFL now? It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, this game should be interesting. Me and Jay both have had the flu over the last week and a half. And as you can see, we're both recovering quite slowly. It kind of sucks. And we're nowhere near each other.
Have you been sharing cigarettes?
Yes.
No, not this time.
Sending it through the internet. It's working really well. But, and stupid flu. And it's actually one of the worst flu seasons we've had in many years, from what I'm reading. But anyway, so from what I understand, Jordan Love's going to be back for the Packers. Could the Packers have any shot at rebounding and winning at Soldier Field, Sean?
Yeah, of course they do. They've played each other twice. This is the third time they played. And they know each other inside and out. This isn't Chargers, Patriots. You know what I mean? Like, they know every single thing that the other one's going to do. It's just about execution. And Ben Johnson's never coached a playoff game as a head coach. Matt LaFleur's coached many games and won many games. So the advantage goes to the Packers. I don't care. Like, the thing is, as good as the Bears record is, look at how they've played, like, recently. They haven't been running the ball very well. That was the thing that got them to where they're at now, is they've been able to run the ball a lot. And if you look at their numbers defensively, they take away the ball better than anybody. But if you look at their yards per game, they're like 28th in the league. They're dead last out of all 14 playoff teams. They're dead last in defense. Aside from the takeaways, everything else, dead last.
So who wins, John, right now?
The Packers. Because
Jay, what do you got to say?
You know what? I actually am going to take the Bears in this one. Love their defense, but also at the same time,
they're just about dead last defense.
but no, no. I hate it. It's just if it's close late, I'm gonna tell you this. If it's close late, I like Caleb Williams' chances.
But in the playoffs? Because he's never done this in the playoffs, Jay. It's different in the playoffs.
No, I get it. It is different in the playoffs, but everyone has to break their shell at some point. You know what I mean? Brady did it on the biggest stage in the Super Bowl.
He's not Tom Brady.
I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, okay, or anything like that. I'm not coming out saying that he's number 12 or anything. But he's got to. This will be the game right here, where he will most definitely learn a lot about the postseason atmosphere. It's in Soldier Field. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same year. The enigma is both teams split the season series. You know what I mean? So, but no, I'm gonna take Chicago in this one, 24-21. It's a field goal game.
If the Bears can play a 4-quarter game, the Bears will win. The problem the Bears have had, they haven't played a 4-quarter game in a while. Yeah. They start off horrible, like dog excrement, and they have to rely on horrible comebacks. They're playing short at wide receiver. Hopefully they'll get some guys back there. EJ Moore looks like Father Time is coming for him. I mean, the last couple of games, he has looked gassed at the end of the game. It's pretty scary and he's played well, but he looks like how much more does he have in his tank is my question. You got to have guys that are healthy, got to play 4 quarters, got to get Swift out of there and go with Monangai. I mean, I like the way Monangai runs. He runs hard. I say if the Bears play 4 quarters, they win, but I got to see 4 quarters. And it's tough when you haven't played in the playoffs before. John makes an excellent point. I always look at it's a progression. To me, the Bears are way ahead of where they should be. Great year no matter what happens, but you got to progress till you get to that level. And I don't know if they were there yet. We'll see what happens.
I think they're the most vulnerable high seed. Them and then the Jags this weekend, the most vulnerable high seed.
So we're going to go to the next game I want to talk about real quick. Let's go to the Houston Texans going to play the field goal victor. That's what we're going to call them, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jay, let you start here. This is your team.
Oh, man. Rodgers is back in the postseason, and we know what he can do. Houston coming off 9 in a row, 9 of the last 11. I want to see all those articles from back in September that said the Texans were dead in the water. Because I believe, if history serves me right, it's now 3 times in NFL history a team has started 0-3 and made the postseason. Ironically, one of the 2 other teams was the Texans, and they won 9 in a row that year. But I actually think this is going to be a low-scoring defensive game. I can see it 17-13 Texans. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. Is DK back this game, John?
Yes.
DK
yeah,
back?
he's back.
Okay,
He's back from his suspension. Yep.
Okay. All right. But also I trust the Texans defense. The Texans defense all day and twice on Sunday. Ironically, it would be a Monday. So give me twice on Monday then. So ain't nobody getting to the quarterback like Houston. Houston can send 3 and get to him. They got a stud. They got studs at linebacker that can stop the run, cover sideline to sideline, and rush the passer. You got outright wolves in the secondary. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a great defensive battle. So I'll take the Texans 17-13.
I'm going to agree with Jay. The Texans come out, go on the road and win this game. And a game I'm not very excited about watching. What about you, John?
I think it's going to be a good game. It all hinges on which Texans team shows up, which Texans offense shows up. Because the defense will, but when they're hot, when their offense is hot, they can beat anybody. But it's which CJ Stroud shows up, which Nico Collins shows up. Like, that's the problem with the Texans is you don't know what you're going to get week to week offensively. Like, they can play a really good team and offensively be great. They can hit some home runs against the Chargers. And then they go and play, a Raiders team or something, and then they're struggling with the Raiders, and you're like, what the hell, man? Like, yeah. So it'll all just depend on what offense shows up for the Texans. But I think it's going to be really close. I think the Texans pull it out.
So real quick, do the Panthers have any shot at beating the Rams, John?
Yes. Yeah, of course they do. They already beat them once. So who are we to say they have no shot? They already did it one time, and they're at home. So they beat them in that house. So, of course, they have a shot, Like, Rams got to go on the road. And, what is Devontae Adams' health? He hasn't played in almost a month. So I think the Panthers have as good a shot as the Rams do.
Jay?
No, but they most definitely do have a shot. They're going to be hinging on the on the previous meeting. But I do have to give the edge to Stafford. Stafford's been there. Bryce Young hasn't, But also at the same time, the NFL is full of surprises. We can see the Panthers get these boys twice in 1 year. I think I'm going to take the Rams to get their get back, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Panthers won in advance because approximately about 4 to 6 weeks ago, we were talking about the Rams being the hottest team in the NFL, and they were my pick to win the West. And then now here they are as the 5th seed and traveling on the road to a team that they already lost to, while Seattle's got the first round bye. So yeah, but like I said, I'll take the Rams. But hey, if the Panthers pull off the stunner, it wouldn't shock me.
Did the Eagles mess up this week in not playing their starters and now having to play San Francisco where they could have had to play Green Bay? Is that going to derail their chance to repeat, Jay?
Not entirely, because Lincoln Financial Field has kind of become the house of horrors for the 49ers. Now, if the game was in Santa Clara, I give the Niners a little bit more of a shot. Philly crowd is ferocious in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They just are. Now, I think the game is going to be a little closer definitely closer than the NFC champ or the NFC Championship game several years back when it was Niners Eagles. There was no Brock Purdy; he was hurt anyway. Josh Johnson, the NFL whore, gets in there, But no, I'm going to take the Eagles in a close one. If it was in Santa Clara, I probably would have taken the Niners, but I'm going to take the Eagles on this one.
John?
I think the Eagles blow them out. The Niners don't stop. The Niners don't stop the run well at all. And what do the Eagles have? Oh yeah, they have last year's rushing champ. Like it's not like
Keyword
Barkley.
last year.
Yeah, but Barkley didn't forget how to play football, and they're going to the postseason. He had a week off. AJ Brown had a week off. Hurts had a week off. You know, those guys are rested up, while the Niners just went and had to have a dogfight, against Seattle, a team that's very physical. I don't like this for the Niners going all the way across to the East Coast in a place where they have a really tough time playing in Philadelphia. I think this is prime for the Eagles beating them by 2 scores.
I will say this. I will say
Niners
this,
will
John.
shock the world and will win this game. You heard it here first. They are going to win by a field goal. Brock Purdy is going to get them out of Philly, and Sirianni is going to go down to why did you play your starters? And they would have beat the Packers and had another home game. Instead, they're going home after this week. Go ahead, Jay.
I will say this much because, okay, so they do have trouble stopping the run, but outside of that, I mean, for a depleted defense, somewhat, Robert Saleh brought it against the Seahawks the other night. A Robert Saleh defense is pretty damn solid. I think the factor is going to be the offensive coordinator because he clearly didn't show up against Seattle. Hold that team to 13 points. You should win that ball game.
But Seattle, what did Seattle do to them? They ran all over them, like I just said. And what did the Eagles do? Hurts is rested, Barkley's rested, and if they get that RPO going against a depleted Niners defense that can't stop the run, they couldn't stop it against the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a very long day for
it's not happening, John. The Eagles are going home. It's over.
Well, they're already home. They might stay home and play the Rams next week when the Packers beat the Bears.
No, they're going to their houses, not to their stadium. All right, so the Bills are headed to Florida, not to play your team, John, but to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can the Bills beat the Jaguars, or do the Jaguars have enough momentum to get rid of everyone's darling Josh Allen in the playoffs?
I want the Bills to lose, but I just can't see it. Like, I don't try. I mean, we saw Trevor Lawrence once in the playoffs, and he wasn't good at all. I know they've been hot, but the last couple games they haven't been as good. And the Bills always, as long as you have Josh Allen in the playoffs, you always have an opportunity to win. As much as I hate it, like I think the Bills, I think they wax Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville gets stunned at home.
Jay?
You know what? I actually would not be shocked because people look at this marquee matchup as Josh Allen versus Trevor Lawrence. I actually wouldn't be shocked if it came down to ETN versus James Cook. And whichever one has got the bigger game, that team's going to win. And if that's the case, as much as I like ETN, I'm going to take James is the current he ended the season. He's going to win the rushing crown. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think the Bills win this game. I don't think it's a very exciting game. The game I'm interested in, the other Harbaugh, the one that has a job, going up to Foxborough, and we're going to see if the Patriots are for real in their first playoff game. Like the Chargers or the Patriots? What are we thinking here, John?
This is the most boring game since we saw Joe Webb start a playoff game when Adrian Peterson ran for 2,000 yards. They didn't have a quarterback, so they started Joe Webb in the playoffs. Like this game is so boring. This screams 17-13 or 17-9. Like it screams field goals and just sloppy football all the way around. That's what it screams. And the Patriots winning just an ugly game between both, a boring game. So give me the Patriots in this one, but it's going to be so boring.
Jay?
You know what? As much as I would like for the Patriots to win this one, give me the Chargers in this one. They this is tough right here. But yeah, I actually like the Chargers in this one. Herbert will get his first playoff win. They seem, and then not only that, but what's been the narrative for the Patriots? Don't get me wrong, they're 14-3. And you win who you beat, who's put in front of you, right? But the narrative has been, well, they'd only beaten one or two teams above 500. That might get exposed on Sunday. But
we
we'll
can
see.
only hope.
Yeah, but you know what? The Patriots are back in the postseason, and that Foxborough crowd is going to be electric. I'm going to take the Chargers, but I would like for the Pets to win.
So the Chargers, if they win, will have the worst rated offensive line to win a game in the playoffs since the 2011 New York Giants. Just keep that in mind.
I don't know if that's a true stat. I call BS on that. Joe Burrow went into a playoff game against the Titans.
Sacked
nine times. And somehow made the Super Bowl.
John, I'm just going by ratings.
I call BS.
John, I'm going to say it's a fact.
You can say it's a fact, but I watched Joe Burrow get sacked nine times.
We've got overtime. I want to thank Blake Patterson from WonderFan taking some time to join us tonight. Make sure you go download WonderFan on the App Store or the Google Play Store. We will be appearing in San Francisco Super Bowl week on Radio Row. Look forward to seeing you guys while we're out there. We'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully Dave is done giving out his baskets and resting right now. I know he had a great day at the St. Louis Children's Hospital. Love all the work that he does. Jay, great job filling in. Great job producing as always. John, you being you is what makes the show.
Thanks.
I don't even know what to say about it, John. That's how bad it is. Anyway, gotta say we love John. But we will be back next week. Jay, do your best, Dave. Take us out of here.
Hey, everybody. Love and respect each other. Get your flu shots. You see what happened to me and JP up here. Don't be like us, okay? Love, peace, and hair grease. Only you can prevent forest fires. Be good humans, and we'll see you all next week.